Well, welcome to NJ Today. I'm Assemblyman John McKeon, and we have an amazing lineup of guests for you on today's show. Did you know that you have the power to end cancer? Well, we have tips how you can make a difference. And meet a guest from the world of entertainment who, believe me, you won't want to miss. But first, I'm honored to have Seton Hall University President Dr. Gabriel Esteban with me on stage. Doctor, welcome. Now, we made a deal. You'll call me John, I'll call you Gabe?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I told you before, though, I'm just so impressed with, university president that it's hard for me to do, but I'll struggle through it.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to be here, John.
Well, it's amazing to have you on set. Now, first and foremost, the set here, we know we're at your great university, the students, the professionals. This is one of the things that's a great source of pride of this university.
Yes, it is, and we look forward to our students getting jobs all throughout the country, actually. We have a great communications advisory board which works with our students, among other things, to help place them in internships and so on. So we have a great relationships with our alumni and businesses throughout the city.
Well, we can end the show now because that's the end of it, getting out of school. Let's talk about getting in. Now, I know this is your first class, the class of 2010. Applications were up. Average SAT scores, I believe, improved by 18% overall. That's part of your vision.
Yes, when I was Chief Academic Officer, I was asked to head up our strategic planning effort. And part of that was deciding where we needed to go as an institution. One of the things we decided to do was work on improving our selectivity, or the quality of our freshman class. So this past fall, we had our largest class in 30 years. We had over 1,300, 1,311, and our SAT scores jumped 33 points. That's on the two-part. As we look at this coming year's class, we're seeing another dramatic, or it looks like a dramatic improvement again in quality, not just in SATs, but GPA and those sorts of indicators of quality. And that's part of our strategic plan to increase our overall quality within the next 5-7 years.
Sure. Now, I know that you took a circuitous route to get here. You're obviously a doctor in mathematics, which, already I'm a little too close. You're a little too smart for all of us out there in TV land. But beyond that, you went through academic chairs out in California, I believe, where you received your master's, in Texas, Arkansas, and New Jersey. That's some move. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay, let me just backtrack a little bit. I wish my PhD was in mathematics. It was my undergrad. I realized I wasn't cut out for mathematics. I ended up with
well, then you're just like us then, Gabe.
Yep. I ended up with a PhD in business, I guess. That's what I ended up with in marketing. And my first teaching job was in Texas. And prior to moving to Texas, all my experience was in larger metro areas. I grew up in Manila, lived in Hawaii, lived in Tokyo, lived in Southern California, and we moved to a town of 60,000 in Texas.
Ooh, boy. The good old boy network worked out for you down there?
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting transition, but I remember when we drove into town, my wife and I looked at each other and wondered if we had made the right decision. But things worked out, and from there we moved to Arkansas. It wasn't such a big change moving from Texas to Arkansas in terms of adjusting, so to speak.
Well, you and your wife had each other, but you had your lovely daughter that was a part of it too, so a little culture shock for her. But what I love is the fact that she's a student here at Seton Hall. That speaks volumes. Your most precious asset is here.
Yeah, so I have a vested interest in making sure that we move up in terms of our recognition as a national university. She's a third year, she's a junior biochemistry major, so hopefully by this time next year she'll be graduating. Well,
the sciences are one of the many great departments here at Seton Hall, the School of Nursing, that brand new science building that was put together, let alone the business school. There's so many great aspects of this university, not the least of which, you mentioned academics, but quality of life is important, and the campus looks great.
Yeah, thank you. And that's one thing which we try to make sure. Monsignor Sharon embarked on a beautification campaign and made sure that grounds where landscaping was taken care of, and we've continued that. And talking about academic programs, I know you're a graduate of our law school, which was just recently ranked #1 in the state and 61 overall. So we are proud of our academics at Seton Hall.
All that means is I probably couldn't get in now if I was applying. But that and and all of the graduate programs at Seton Hall also are well reputed, and I assume also a part of your plan.
Yes, we intend to capitalize on our reputation in our graduate programs, not just law, but we have business, diplomacy, and so on. Our School of Theology, our seminary, is celebrating its 150th anniversary this year, which puts it just a few years behind the university itself.
Now, most significantly, at least to me as an alumni, is the basketball team. How is it looking? We have a new coach, new athletic director, and we're ready to crack the tournament again next year?
Yeah, I think next year we're going to be in a good position. If not for the injury we had and what happened to Herb earlier, I think we'd be a very different team. But you deal with the cards you're dealt, so to speak. I think I admire Kevin's work ethic. I live next to campus, so I see him parked in his spot by 6:15.
They are as hard workers as university presidents. Now Seton Hall changed. You know, this was a little bit of an arduous search that they had. You know, as a Catholic university, usually, you know, a member of the clergy would serve as its president. And I believe you're, you know, the first. I guess the answer was within. You were serving already as the academic provost, so they knew how talented you were and pulled you in. How is that going?
It's been going great. The Archbishop has been most gracious.
Archbishop Myers?
Yeah, Archbishop Myers, and the priests community have been very, very welcoming. And I think I share the vision. One of in our strategic plan, the #1 strategic direction is strengthen our Catholic mission and identity. So that just shows you where we're headed as an institution. So I think I was honored, and I feel really lucky and blessed, I guess is the way to look at it, to be selected or to be asked to serve as the president of Seton Hall.
Well, I think the community is lucky to have you, Gabe. Now, a couple other points to make. Number one is the one negative, if you want to say, about Seton Hall has always been that there's not a lot of room to expand. You're here in the hamlet of South Orange, and Newark is down the block. Any thoughts about that? Any possibilities of burgeoning out a little bit?
Yeah, we've been looking at our campus master plan, and you are correct. We're landlocked where we are, and I guess the question is, how large an institution should we become? What's our optimal size as an institution? Because we know that if we have to grow, if our goal is to grow by about 1,000 students, it would be difficult to remain in South Orange.
And now, speaking of South Orange, you're a part of the community here, and sometimes that can be a difficult relationship with the wants of the community versus maybe the enthusiasm of a college crowd. But things are going well. I know that, for example, at SOPAC, Seton Hall has a partnership with them, actually donates and puts on some student productions there. Another great department here, Fine Arts and the theatrical productions.
Yes, and actually I'll be going to there's a show next week. Midori is performing at SOPAC. It's part of our series. So we do a lot of things. One thing, we have a very symbiotic relationships. I think businesses in town rely on our students, faculty, staff. I eat.
Why wouldn't they get down to Bunnies?
Yeah, Bunnies, Reservoir, I mean all these other
Everyone,
places.
Sure.
So that I think is very important. I think one thing I bring to the table is at my previous institution, the town we lived in, I was chair of the Chamber of Commerce. So I knew how businesses work with the university and how we had to work with the university. I think as we get a stronger and stronger academically qualified class, I think that's going to change some of the nature of some of the things we're seeing. But we have to rely on each other.
Well, Gabe, what an exciting time for you to be in this position between the expansion of campus in the long run, upgrading the student body and academics. We're really proud, and although you took that circuitous route to get here, you're now going to be a Jersey guy and really be responsible for a major part of the quality of life of this great state, and that's Seton Hall University.
Yes, and it's a big task, and I hope I live up to the expectations of people I serve.
Well, as people at home now can tell, there's no doubt that you will not.
Thank you.
Okay.